just love me sweet Hare. Hello everybody, how you doing? This is Olive the Empress here, back at it again to give you guys a quick little download I just had. This is gonna be very general, so I hope you guys receive it with open ears, open hearts. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get right to it. I had a quick little download I wanted to come and give to you guys because it was a very big revelation for me, and it just kind of came back up, and I don't know, I just wanted to share this, get this out there, and hopefully it touches somebody, inspire somebody, and bring somebody back to their path of alignment of their own self-love on their own self-love journey. So that being said, let's just go ahead and get into it. All right, so I wrote it down just so I can make sure I didn't forget it, because it's a very simple concept, but I think that a lot of us sometimes aren't conscious, rather to say we aren't conscious of the meaning of certain things and certain media, certain things that are just we're exposed to, right? Especially in American media. In America's media, it's a lot of programming that they do to our subconscious mind. And it just got me thinking today about quantum leaps, and then also about the butterfly effect, right? A lot of the times in life when we're doing certain things, trying to reach certain goals, manifest certain things, when we're trying to grow certain relationships, when we're trying to release certain things, we always want to do these quantum leaps ahead of time to maybe escape the present work in the moment, right? So meaning if you wanted to save $100 by the end of the month, if you want to save $100 by the end of the month, that means that either you can save $100 on the 30th, take $100 out of wherever the hell and save it on the 30th, or you can take every day out of 30 days and divide those 30 days and make sure that you're contributing to this fund every day by the end of the month, right? So a lot of the times when we're trying to do certain things, meet certain goals, have certain experiences, we want to go into these quantum leaps of going from point A to point B without actually living in the present moment in between those 2 points, right? Because to get from A to B, you have to travel a certain distance, you have to travel a certain road, and you can't fast forward the trip to the point of where we're instantaneously there, at least not in this dimension, right? In other dimensions we might be able to, that's a whole nother conversation. Certain people can travel however they want to travel, right? But it's a thing of us being, instead of always wanting to be the rabbit in the story of the tortoise and the hare. The rabbit is to a tortoise in the rabbit race, and apparently the tortoise is going so slow that everybody's clowning oh my god, that tortoise will never make it. What are you talking about? The tortoise is never gonna make it. How could he by any chance outrace the rabbit? So the rabbit goes forward and at the beginning of the race and goes so fast, but he gets about 1/4 of the way there and gets distracted by something to the left. Rabbits don't really have long attention spans. Rabbits don't really have that discipline and self-awareness to continue on in a certain direction for too long because they get distracted by what's going on the left, or what's going on the right of them, or what sound they heard that made them scared and made them want to even run backwards as well. Like, it's a very simple revelation. It's a very simple analogy to just say, like, all of us feel like we want to make things happen so fast, or we want a certain result so fast, where we just have to flow with the rhythm of life and take those tortoise-like, disciplined, maybe boring, maybe slow steps in order to get to where we want to be, wherever that place might be. That might be that may be a certain, like I said before, like a goal you want to get to, a place you might want to move to. This might be for some people who want to find romantic partnership. This might be for people who want to, I don't know, just start their life over. I just got like a very big, like kind of overwhelming like feeling of being choked up, girl, because it's just like, it's like a lot of people are dealing with like a lot of emotion and a lot of healing they're trying to do in a very short amount of time, or I don't know. People are putting a point of reference on a pedestal, and they're trying to find a way to hurdle themselves like towards it, like in the fastest and quickest way possible. And it's just like, slow and steady wins the race. And even then, like, us being in the age of Aquarius, right? Us being in the age of air, of mental magic, of you know, affirmations being the strongest like form of magic, or mental magic being the strongest form of magic, because mental energy represents air, and with the energy of air, which is air, Aquarius is an air sign. And for years, like, people would think that Aquarius, I think, was like a water sign, but Aquarius is definitely an air sign. I've met some people who thought Aquarius was definitely a water sign, but it's definitely an air sign, even though it's a water bearer. It's the flow of air, right? Not really holding on to these core beliefs of like trauma, or of like previous experiences that we didn't want to have, like being able to let those things go and like have our mind and our third eye and our perception to be like as clear or as light as a feather is like very important. So having the mental fortitude to know that, you know, you can be diligent, you can be slow paced, and you will still win the race, even with making small steps, right? And those small steps that the tortoise was making, like, everybody would never have believed that the tortoise was gonna win the race, because of course everybody's thinking like, oh yeah, the rabbit has speed, you know, he has agility, he's like a young little rabbit, you know, tortoises can live upwards to hundreds of years old, like, you know. And it's just so funny that us taking those small steps like lead out to these huge outcomes, right? Which leads me into the next download that I was getting, which was the butterfly effect. The butterfly effects. The butterfly effects, right? You know, the movie, right? Again, with the social and American programming that they, you know, they put certain jewels of actual truth into, you know, our media, and we consume it thinking that, you know, oh yeah, this is a movie, this is, you know, this wasn't real. But us being able to make those small changes that have huge impacts, like on our lives, on the conditions of our minds, on the conditions of our hearts, like being able to be light in heart and in mind is like a very big thing for us right now, especially us being in Cancer season, of course. Cancer season. But yes, the butterfly effect, being able to make those tiny little changes that are leading up to the sum of them being more than the size of their parts. Yeah. The sum of the parts being more than the little individual step, right? The wings of the butterfly, like if the butterfly, gets caught on the windshield instead of it flying free, then it might change the entire timeline. A lot of the times, even in our media, other than the movie The Butterfly Effect with, Ashton Kutcher, but other than that, other instances where they've had movies that represent time travel, where they have time travel, right? So they have these situations where, they want to stop Hitler, or they want to stop, these major, huge disasters in the plot line, right? And they don't go and, like, sometimes, all the time, go and assassinate that person. A lot of the times it might be like, oh, instead of us assassinating Hitler, we can, like, make it that he got accepted into art school instead of being denied from art school. Maybe it might be a different world then. Or it's just little things that change, make a huge difference in your timeline. So, like, that's a parallel I felt like was very pertinent right now, because a lot of us are trying to make these quantum leaps in us having to, like, sit back and reevaluate how far that quantum leap actually is, because us, instead of making this huge change, us making a minute or, like, a consistent small change can make years worth of difference, rather than you having to completely reevaluate everything, or, like, change everything externally and internally about yourself, So I just want you guys to think about that every day. What change, what pivot, what butterfly effect can I make on my own life every day? No matter how big or how small how big that might be that day, or how small that might be that day. Like, us always making a conscious and decisive choice to do that every day will make a huge difference on all of our timelines and all of our journeys and all of our self-discovery. And I just want us all to be able to really, really, really understand that. That's going to make a huge difference for a lot of us, and we'll be able to properly assess and reevaluate how far and how much energy we exert on each thing that we do every day, It doesn't have to be like the grand changing of every single thing in your life. It can be something that's slow and consistent, and if you just continue to attract your beliefs to the fact that you are consistently and constantly striving to make a change every single day to the place where you want to be, then continue to show up as your favorite self every day that day, your best self every day that day, however that looks like. So I hope that helps you guys. I'm not sure where the hell that came from. No, that was definitely from my spirit guides. But yeah, I hope this helps you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, rising, wherever you are in the world of YouTube. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this video. If you guys found this helpful, definitely let me know in the comments. Let's discuss more on the butterfly effect. What other things are you finding in the media that are kind of relevant to your spiritual journey right now? What other things do you want to share with the collective, share with me, child? Because Lord knows none of us are perfect, so we definitely all need help. We all can, there's more than enough knowledge and wisdom and life experience and laughs and all of that to share around. So definitely comment below. Yeah. Enjoy your day, you guys. Bye.